Hello and welcome to another full-length feature, this time with one of the biggest names in professional volleyball. I'm Boom Gonzalez, and this is the Spotlight Series on Starting Lineup.
JD! Puts it on top and hits with nice attacker three.
Gold medalist and Olympic champion from Europe.
A year ago, this player came into the PVL embracing a chance to take her talents to her home country. Fast forward to present time, she has established herself as one of the best players in the league. Join me as we welcome PLDT High Speed Hitter's main standout, Savi Davison is back here. You've always made time for us, so we really appreciate that. But this time, the spotlight is on you and you alone. Thank you very much for being here. Let's talk about the fun stuff first.
Yay. Okay. Let's go.
It's been a year already here in the Philippines. You know, you've had a real good sample size of the culture and the people, the traffic, the weather, all of it, the whole experience. Tell me how you've been. Tell me what you've discovered about yourself in this whole experience here in the Philippines.
I think one thing that radiates most out of this country is just a happiness without, much. You go anywhere, people are smiling, people are friendly. It's a little bit different, than, the Western countries, but I love it. I think it brings a sense of community. It brings a sense of, family. So I'm just really happy to be a part of it and just, you embrace it and everything that has to give me. Obviously, it's half of me. So it's I want to say, full circle experience, just getting to know that part of me. So it's been very fun.
Did you discover something about yourself that you did not know or didn't realize, a characteristic maybe extended patience? I don't know. You tell me. Is there something that has...
I think just being a little bit more minimalistic.
Wow,
if that's, putting it all together in one word. Just living by my means and, I want to say that because it's easier to travel here, I think. It's, cheaper when you're already in Asia.
Right.
But that's not, living within my means. I think it's just cheaper here.
Right.
But it's fun. I think another thing is I like rice a lot more than I thought I would.
I love it. We love it. We love that.
But, I still try to stay away from it, but I always get caught, It's always there. So... I think that's another thing that I think I'm going to be bringing home with me, hopefully.
Okay, what kind of rice is
it's just white rice. White rice and eggs. Oh my gosh, eggs? So good. So good. So I think that's the two things that I could honestly, if you were to give me a chance, I could live off of.
Wow.
But yeah,
wow.
Very minimalistic.
Yeah,
so.
I love it though. What has been the toughest part of the stay here? First, let's not talk about, the playing and all that, but just the toughest part for you.
I think being so far from home, but feeling so at home at the same time.
Interesting. Explain, please.
I have so much family here, so much support. I've grown to know family here, but at the same time, I do feel as if I am far from home. I think it's because my mom and my dad and my sister, the closest ones to you, even though you might not talk for a year, if you're in the same country, you have that feeling of closeness. So I think I just lack that a little bit. I know that they're in a different country. I know that they're 20 hours away. So I just feel that a little bit. And I think itself is the toughest part. But I think they have been trying their best to be here and support me from afar. So I appreciate them always for
What do they say? I know they visited and all that. What have they said about you being here and the country in general and your experience and watching you like this?
My mom loves it, obviously.
That's awesome.
She says she has FOMO all the time because I bought a condo where they grew up. So, yeah, it's whenever she comes, it's like, oh, down this street, we used to, run this way and go behind this church. Yeah. But my dad's been here a couple times. He loves it too, obviously. It's another world for him. He doesn't really travel often, so traveling here was a big deal. And he got to love the water, he got to love the islands, the people, the food, everything that you can expect from this
rice
country.
Too?
Exactly.
Yeah, did he like rice too?
Yeah.
Did it get you closer also? You know how some people, when they get separated, the effect actually is they become closer. Is that what happened to you guys, Solo?
I think I now share separate memories with both my parents because they are separated, right? So getting to experience this part of my life in a different country, experiencing different things together because it's their first, life living as well.
Right.
So I think that has brought us closer together and just, making sure we're checking in on each other and all that stuff. So yeah, I think in the end, it's been positive for our relationship.
What has shocked you so far in the? It seems like
there's
you have
a lot.
list.
There's a lot going on.
All right, give me the list. Come on, give me some of it.
I mean, I think there's just, going out with my parents and, experiencing new people, surfing in Siargao together with my dad. I think that's not something that you think about every day when you come from a Western country. Obviously, there are those experiences that you share with your parents, but I think mine just, are a little bit different, and I'm very grateful to, have that. And, before I might have not thought about, hey, I want to do this with my parents, or hey, I want to do this with, my people, but I'm glad that I have had the opportunity to.
What can you say about the celebrity culture that you have gotten yourself into here because of the volleyball culture and the sports culture in general here in the Philippines? Like you have your own spotlight series here on the show. What has your realizations been about this whole culture of ours and the fanaticism of athletes?
I think the support for the country in general, no matter where you look, whether it's volleyball, and I know volleyball is a very big thing going on right now, especially in this country. But whether you look at basketball, whether you look at communities, parks, fairs, whatever, it's so much of a communal thing that, the support that everything gets here is like magical, right?
It's maniacal,
yeah,
right?
It can be sometimes, right? But
I don't say it in a bad way.
The first thing I think about is Choco Mucho. Right.
Right.
Unfortunately, we'll get there.
Yeah.
But but I think in general, just having the ability to see so much support in so many different communities here. There's such a life for it. You know what I mean? There's such a way to stay in tune with everybody. There's such a way to, see everybody what they're doing and all that stuff. And it's really good because you bring someone into this type of environment and they're kind of like shocked at first about how much people support people here. And I think that's another big thing that I've learned.
Okay. And I'll ask this as a last question for this segment.
Sure.
Knowing that this is the culture already, that you are in the celebrity sports culture, is there something that is a big misconception about Savannah Davison that's out there that maybe you want to correct or maybe they don't know about?
I think I get a lot of comments on the way I look if I'm not smiling.
Okay.
But I'm a really fun person.
Yes, you are.
I'm a really funny.
We know that. We know
dark
that.
humor sometimes. But I think that once you get to know me, I'm just very light. And I think being here has made me even lighter. Just to take things more lightly and just to be okay with, certain things like anything could happen. Just go with it and just, be happy with it.
That's
so
great to hear.
Yeah. I think a lot of people think I'm super OCD because of how, the team is or how we play or something like that. But
and how focused you are.
Yeah, I'm just human, right? So I think that's just a part of my life that people misjudge me by. Or obviously work is work, but
of course,
a lot of the time I'm very easygoing.
Well, we're happy to hear that we had something to do with you being lighter even here
of
now
course.
that you're in the Philippines. All right, more with the Savannah Davison when we come back here on the Spotlight Series. Welcome back to the Spotlight Series. Still, of course, with PLDT High Speed Hitter Savi Davison. Let's talk about volleyball now, if you don't mind.
Of course.
I was there in the two losses, obviously in the quarterfinals. Tough. 5-setter. I want to ask you a couple of questions about that. First, I saw the reaction, your look right after the final loss. What was your immediate thought when I saw that look from you?
I think my mind first went to what I could have done better. You know, as an athlete, you can only control what you do most of the time. And as somebody that has the bad habit of calculating efficiency and saying, like, how many points do I have? How many errors have I made? How many passes have I missed? That's what pops up into my head.
Immediately, huh?
Yeah.
In that moment.
Yeah. I knew right after probably how many errors I had. Yeah. And I didn't know how many points I scored, so when I got back to the locker room and I saw it, the first thing I thought of was the errors, so it's tough. But I also, you know, I was happy that we got there and put up the fight.
Right.
Just trying to look at things in a more positive light,
Right.
like what can we do next type thing. Trying not to dwell, you know, you give yourself 5 minutes to cry or have a mental breakdown and then you move on.
I was going to ask, how did you take it? How were you in the locker room? How were you when you got home or after the team dinner or whatever, when you were all alone already?
I think the dugout was the most painful I've been a part of because I think we worked so hard throughout the season to get somewhere, and unfortunately it just didn't pan out for us. Knowing that as well, that we could have, you know, made it to the semis or made it to the finals, you know, beating those top teams, like we have the capacity to do that.
Right.
That's another heartbreak on its own. So you start to take into account all these things that, you know, could have happened, but unfortunately are cannot.
Yeah.
So I think that was the hardest part to swallow immediately after in the dugout with the team, because you see how upset everybody else is, and then you can't stop crying. So you're like, okay, you know, let's just everybody take a breath, and we'll refocus after in a couple days.
Right. Do you feel the same way now as you did in the locker room? Now that you've had time to process it?
It's definitely a missed opportunity. I feel like I'm still watching the games.
Yeah,
I saw. Yeah, I'm still thinking about, you know, what I would be doing if, you know, if it was game day for me today or if I was still playing. And I think that's the mentality that you have to have. Just be ready any day, anytime. Because we still do have ABC coming up,
Course,
and I think that's a good thing, knowing that we have something else to look forward to.
Of course.
Because I think if we didn't, we would have had to dwell on this
for a long period and ruminate
very long period
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
so I'm
that's
glad
not
that, you know, even though it's not right after, it follows enough to the point where we have to shift our focus to something else. Yeah.
Right. I wanted to ask about the difference of the locker room on that tough loss the last time, but you guys were not playing. You were injured, remember, against Sakari, and that was an emotional loss also, obviously controversial too. And then this one that you were a part of, coming from your best individual season. Can you take me through the emotions of both?
The two different, they vary dramatically in my perspective, just because I was part of one, and I want to say I was part of both,
course.
but just not playing in one of them.
Right.
Having the ability to kind of let everyone else's emotions sink in to me personally in the first loss during the reinforced conference was something that I felt I could channel into for this season. And I felt like I somewhat did that.
Yeah.
So I was proud of that. I was proud that I was able to kind of separate my emotions and use something as, you know, kind of a type of fuel. This one sits a little bit more heavy, because I feel like it comes down to the 1 or 2 points. And we were close, very close both times.
Right. Yeah.
And I think I said something like, that's the way that the points fell, you know, swayed or, you know, just kind of happened. So that's another tough thing to swallow. It's like, could we have, you know, like made that one serve in the third or the fourth, or, you know, dug that one ball in the second set, and things would have been, you know, different because it was that close. I think that's why it's a little bit harder. But hopefully I'm able to use that again and just kind of channel that energy into what needs to happen down the road.
Have you seen the games? Did you watch the games?
A couple,
Yeah,
times.
really? You have, huh?
Yeah.
And that's for the benefit of you learning from it?
I think that's just for the benefit of me swallowing it. More so just being okay with what happened and how it happened. Obviously, there's that sense of like, what could I have done better?
Of course, yeah.
But then again, you can't fix it until that next opportunity comes up. So for me, okay, looking down a couple months from now, if we're in the finals again or if in the semifinals, what do I need to do differently? And I think that's just at the tier of athleticism that all these women are at, because it's professional,
Yeah.
right? So it's those little tweaks end game, mid game that you need to make so that the points do fall your way in that fifth set, right?
That's a great
So-
perspective. I like that. I hear that from you. Is this the toughest loss of your volleyball career, or were there others that stand out that you couldn't get over for like months, maybe even?
I've had a couple NCAA tournaments, but not, I think, I don't, see that's difficult because there's in such different parts of my life,
Of course.
like throughout my time period. I think this one most recent, definitely.
Right.
And I think this one as an adult, maybe more heavier with a little bit more weight to it. But I've learned a lot through many of the losses, and it takes a loss to make someone great. So I'm just happy, that if we were to lose, I'm glad that it's hard. I'm glad that we weren't swept.
I get it.
So
Right.
trying to look at
That's the takeaway.
the brighter
for you.
side, exactly.
How competitive are you, Savi? I
Oh,
mean, I
super.
see it, and we see you laugh and we see you smile and all that. But how bad does it get? Tell me petty stories. Do you have petty stories of your competitiveness?
Yeah, it takes me a little bit to calm down from a loss, regardless of, if it's in the semis or not. I'm usually one to separate myself from the group. I don't know if you
That's
see
your
those in
process.
Yeah, it's my processing time. I had a really bad history of like getting really upset whenever I lost. I would cry, I would throw things, I would, so now I just have to be in my little space,
Got it.
have my hands up, like
Got it.
swing my arms kind of
Right.
thing, just to let it all out. But I think that's where it comes out the most, especially after, you pour yourself into something and unfortunately it just doesn't go your way. So
Is it tougher that your
I do throw a
family's-
fit,
Yeah, yeah.
but it is what it is.
I feel bad for your boyfriend then.
Maybe me too sometimes. It's okay.
Okay, we'll talk about what's next and what's in store for Savannah Davison, who's here
course.
with us on Starting Lineup. Stay with us. One last go around here with Savi Davison on our Spotlight series. Yes, the spotlight is on her. Where will the spotlight take her is the next question. I guess, there are talks about, national team and all of that. Where are you on that? What can you tell us?
It's
in that?
busy. It's very busy. I think.
Are you going to be part of the national team? I guess this is the question I should.
Well, we had some issues with just where I wanted my federation to be.
Yes.
Because I did play for Team Canada.
Canada, correct.
So this year, as of now, I'm just sitting back,
Okay.
just kind of prioritizing PLDT,
Okay.
some rest,
Right.
and then just in a couple or maybe next year, if I still have the opportunity, then
Right.
take it from there. But I think right now, I just want to prioritize just being home for a little bit and seeing the people that, that support me just from afar.
Right,
I'm giving them that, that little bit of savvy. So I think that's where
You're
I'm
gonna need it too.
Yeah, of
Right,
course.
yeah.
I think it's important for every athlete to just separate themselves, a little bit.
Disengage,
Exactly.
decompress,
Yeah, exactly.
and maybe not talk about volleyball
Exactly.
for maybe a week
For the-
or
yeah.
so. But that doesn't mean you're not going to be training. I know you're even
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
of
there,
course.
you're going to keep yourself in tremendous shape. As you've been this conference, you just like look, from a game standpoint, from a conditioning standpoint, you've looked tremendous.
Thank you.
So, is the Philippines first? This is going to be where you're going to be first for the
So-
foreseeable future. What are we talking
As of now, yes.
Okay.
We're obviously still planning things out what the next 5 years looks
Right.
like, but right now we're happy where we are.
You are happy too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. But I think it has a lot of factors that it ruminate,
course.
and side differently on different topics.
Of
But I
course.
think for now we're happy where we are. We're just gonna go back home for a little bit and then
Yeah.
come back, reset. And I think all of it is pretty much gonna look the same come.
And then the AVC is the
Yeah.
next thing. Tell me
AVC.
what are you looking forward to with that one?
I think the international side of it,
That's
gonna be
fun.
cool.
Yeah.
I think for sure. I get most excited because a couple of athletes on our team haven't been on that international platform. They haven't seen how other countries play, or what does it look like on their end, or how does it differ than volleyball here in the Philippines. And I'm excited for them to see that because when it was my first experience doing international stuff, it was kind of mind blowing. Like it's the same sport, but it's not.
Yeah, I
It's
see.
played so differently, but not at the same time.
Right.
So I'm glad that they're gonna have that opportunity, and of course, just for us to bounce back from
Right.
that.
Right. What would an MVP mean to you? There's talks that you're leading and all that, you're looking like an MVP and all that. Well, what would that mean to you? I know you're a team person. There's no question about that. I'm not saying that you're not, but from an individual standpoint, do you think about it?
I do, and I think this is the first time that I've thought about it since ending.
Okay, let's talk about it then.
Because a while back, I didn't want it to think about it much, just because we were in season.
Yes.
All this stuff, I didn't want to think too far ahead or get my hopes up. Just side differently or play differently
Right,
in
right.
that kind of context. But
I get it.
I've kind of swallowed the fact that maybe I'm not in the race anymore, just because we didn't get there.
Get to the
But at
semis.
the same time, I just feel like this is a plan of something bigger. Maybe it's a lesson. Maybe it's I'm not ready for it. So I'm just I'm okay with it right now. I'm happy with how the season went. It doesn't diminish anything that
Absolutely.
I've done, but I think for me it was more of like a fulfilling season in my personal books than anything, and I'm happy with that. So I think that's where my mind goes when I think about MVP.
Yeah, you may if you don't win it, doesn't mean you did not
Yeah,
play like one.
exactly.
Absolutely. What does winning a championship for PLDT mean to you? Have you envisioned it? Have you pictured it in your head? What's the meaning to you when this happens, if it happens? And of course, from an athlete standpoint, you have to think it's going to happen.
Yeah, of course. The belief has to be there.
Yes.
And I think this year we did really believe, and that doesn't obviously take away from what we could do in the AVC, but I think right now, as we sit, PLDT did believe that we could have taken it a lot farther than quarters.
Right.
So I think for everybody, I think everybody wanted a championship. We all knew that we could have, if we were to get the opportunity, we could show up. If we were to do this, but at the end of the day, we were dealt with the cards, and we did play the game the way that we played it. So we can't really, Choco did show up two days in a row,
Right.
and flat out just had the day.
Yeah.
So I think when you think about that, we have to be hard on ourselves, because that's what championship teams need to do.
Correct.
At the same time, we need to show ourselves a little bit of compassion, because
I like that.
because we still are in that growth phase or growing period, right? I don't know if we were to win a championship, would we look any different, or but I think as of now, it may be just that last lesson that we needed,
Yes.
hopefully.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
then make
get
that
over
jump.
the top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I think because it stunk so hard this time and we were just so close, and that's just the way the bracket fell, that's just
Yeah.
the way the points fell.
Yeah.
I think for us to take that extra inch, that extra leap, it's just a little bit more, mental focus. It's a little bit more grit.
Yeah.
Coach talks a lot about that extra effort. So I think that's in the periods that we need it the most, it needs to be there.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you said that, you have to be compassionate about
course.
yourselves too and your effort. Yeah, we love seeing you play. We're such big fans. Even if you're here in Spotlight right now, we could have pushed it a little farther, but hey, there's no such thing as losing, only learning, as they say.
Oh, well, maybe.
Right?
Still losing.
Maybe. Savi, as always, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Savi Davison, ladies and gentlemen, on the Spotlight series here on Starting Lineup. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm Broom Gonzalez.